Hello, welcome back to the Boston Review. This week's Incredulous installment will feature commentary from Comrade Scott, Joe, Chava, and myself. As 2021 limps to a close and we experience an unprecedented COVID spike, the Biden administration defers to constituent state leadership and private enterprise. We recall the most inspiring labor struggles of the year, distill some lessons from our experiences with depoliticization, collective action, burnout, and the support of our peers. Then we pry into the rift between DSA membership and leadership, and make some predictions for the future of American socialism. Before we go, Chava tells a tale of artificial unintelligence, and we excavate some Dutch slang. Please do us a bit and share this guide. Do
How many musical interludes and voiceover clips do I need to hear before you actually get to the meat and potatoes of your podcast?
I don't do this podcast for the fucking ad revenue. I do this podcast so I don't kill myself.
Anywho, Joe, there's no news. It's the end of the year.
I mean, other than we're fucked.
2021.
2020. Other than we're fucked.
2021. Joe, I'm talking. 2021 is over, and 2022 is about to begin. Now you can go on, Joe.
Well, the only news is that we're fucked.
Okay, yeah. Elaborate, please.
I will. We are fucked because the federal government has given up on doing anything about COVID. We've just, fuck it. We don't care. We basically come full circle. Actually, no, we've gone worse than full circle because at least under Trump, we had a stimulus. Because now we're doing no federal response to COVID and also no stimulus. So it's actually worse.
Yeah. Wasn't there a tweet that Kamala, she made during the campaign where she's like, we're going to guarantee that everybody gets $2,000 check every month?
I think it was May 2020 where she was like, everybody, $2,000 stimulus checks every single month.
Which, dog, if that happened, like, shit, man.
$2,000 per month until the COVID pandemic ends. Not a $1,400 now, please kindly fuck off. $2,000 every single month. A bill that was co-sponsored by Bernie Sanders and Ed Markey.
Democrats suck ass.
Okay. Clearly, it was all talk because now it's like, we don't care. We've given up. Can everyone please kindly shut the fuck up, go back to work and or die?
Go back to work and die.
Go back to work the second you walk through those doors and say, hello, Mr. Boss, I'm back to work. Give me my hours. You just collapse and then, I
mean, I know it's too soon, but if you work at Amazon in Kentucky, that, recently did happen.
That's true. Although
too
they
soon.
Go back to work
you weren't
and
making
die.
you weren't saying anything distasteful.
They stayed at work and died.
Well, I was making a joke about getting killed at the workplace.
Yeah.
We got it. We got it.
Yeah, thanks.
The guy got it. You can expect here on the E-Pod.
Good Lord, Joe. We're gonna have to put you through podcaster school. No, I'm kidding. I love you, Joe.
It's amazing that how little they care. They've shortened the amount of time that you need to be isolated
from 10 days to 5 days.
Get infected with COVID, and the reasoning for this from the CDC is that it will help deal with disruptions to the economy. That's not really comforting or good information to hear from the health department.
I mean, the CDC stands for Can't Derail Capitalism,
Yeah, that's also true. That is true. Mm-hmm. You got me there, sir.
Yeah, basically, Biden recently announced that there's no federal solution. It's up to the states to figure out COVID, which means we're never going to figure this out because there's states like Florida and there's governors like the governor of Florida. What was his? I forget his. The guy. He's got a weird. What?
Ron DeSantis is the governor of Florida.
Yeah, fucking weird. He's it's bad.
Yeah, he's a weirdo.
So yeah, it's never going to get solved. And then the CDC, they've been rolling back their guidelines, and so it's they're basically just saying it's up to your boss if you feel good enough to come into work. It's the American empire. It's the liberal class. It's the bourgeoisie, sacrificing the working class so that they can keep their profits up. That's how we ended 2021. If this becomes a time capsule for anything, that's how we ended it. On a very downer note.
We ended it by somehow making it worse.
Yeah.
And that's your show. Thanks for listening, everybody.
Yeah.
Have a good year.
Happy New Year. We're all fucked.
Joe, do you have any hopes for 2022? Anything on the horizon
No.
for my love?
No. Abandon all hope.
We got to get this energy up, Phil. All right.
Actually, no, I do have some hope. I have
There
some
we go.
hope in
God
that.
damn it. Thank you.
I have some hope in that Major League Baseball will get its ass handed to it by the Players Association during their contract negotiations.
Hell yeah.
Hell
That
yeah,
is what I have.
Major League Baseball. Players Association.
Labor rights.
Wait, that's what you fucking care about?
What about hope that all Starbucks across the country become unionized and all Amazons follow suit, and that we bring some sort of amelioration to the immiseration of the working class in most of the center of the country?
Fits into my hope of labor organizing.
Well, you could have said something like that, bro.
But Major League Baseball was the first on my mind because I literally just talked about it like a half hour ago.
Major League Baseball.
All right. Oh, I love you, Joe.
The sports team.
There's no one like you on this planet. We love you.
Oh, I am sure of that. Of that, I am certain.
That is very true.
Jesse, would you like to remind us of 2021?
Remind you of 2021?
What
Like-
have you?
That it exists?
Yeah, remind us of it. Tell us the good things that happened.
I mean, I can get into it. I mean, the truth is that the reason it's so hard to talk about is because it's sad. It's
Oh.
really sad.
Okay.
What I noticed this year is it's a lot of accelerating of the same things that have been kicking our asses for years. And the first one is relentlessly commodifying our problems, like selling our problems back to us. I noticed a lot of ads specifically for BetterHelp, the fucking like the remote therapy app or whatever. What is it? Is it like a subscription therapy service?
Yeah,
So.
pretty much. I hear their ads and pretty weekly on very many podcasts. Blank check.
Yeah, it seems like, well, again, that's one of the reasons that I just can't take the majority report seriously, because they'll talk about ostensibly anti-capitalist stuff and then break for an ad with like BetterHelp and fucking Brooklyn and Sheets or whatever. It can be demoralizing because it's sort of like an acknowledgement that even the people who claim to be about it are still the only reason they're about it is because they can make some money doing it in one way or another. And
I mean, everybody's got to eat.
sure,
We do still live under a capitalist system, and Brooklyn and Sheets are very nice.
All right. I guess that's.
I'm sorry. No, you have a point.
And I mean, YouTube like changed the way that they do monetization now, so that basically everything is monetized. So even the shit that the creators aren't getting a single penny out of it, the platform still does, which I don't know. It's almost like openly hostile.
Yeah, you're still feeding the machine that's, regardless of the fact that you're getting your anti-capitalist message out, you're still feeding a machine that is going to work against your goals and will algorithmically still promote content that's like traditionalist or right-wing because, you know, the more clicks, more provocative.
They talked about it on like Eat the Rich, and it's almost this energy of like, yeah, you like that shit. Like, it's just, it makes me feel like I'm just eating shit constantly.
I can agree with that.
And I like not exposing myself to it. And I'm glad that we have zero monetization for this. Not that it would net us a whole bunch of cash. But I like having like a sort of Patreon supporter model because then it's voluntary.
Yeah.
For like the 4 people who want to give us like $1 a month.
I think it's like 5 now, but thank you so much.
Oh, how fancy.
Madams,
Yes.
lovely.
I have sent out
Yeah.
some stickers in the mail. I feel good about that.
Oh, that's why you sent... Oh, okay, that's why.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, he's not
To the listeners, I sent Scott's brother some stickers in the
Don't be
mail.
fucking weird about it.
He's going to receive... I'm about to eat the pecan.
That's really strange.
Another thing along this line of relentlessly commodifying our problems and selling them back to us are these like cryptocurrency campaigns that are liberation themed.
Yeah, that was kind of soul crushing to deal with this year.
Get out from under the boot from the capitalist pigs and buy Dogecoin. But it's like even worse. It's like buy black coin so that you can be...
so that you can be the guy with the boot on someone else's neck.
Small business time.
But also you can be you can be like a straight up gangster while you do it.
What? Okay. That's
Sorry.
Sorry, not my best moment. But if that made you uncomfortable, then you have a sense of how I felt when I saw, and this is not a joke, the founder of the Black Chain Foundation sitting in front of an American flag talking about how it's good that Jay-Z and Nas rap about cryptocurrency now. And if you haven't encountered any millionaire grind set content, which I highly doubt, here's a supercut of a video from Nipsey Hussle's official YouTube channel, and we're gonna get dinged for copyright, but I could give a fuck because someone is gonna make money off us either way.
Made a plan and I stuck to it. I'm the man, you a bluff to us. Smart talk, such a such to us.
Question in my head, like, what is Filecoin? What is this thing? You know, I understand cryptocurrency. I understand unregulated form of currency. I understand peer-to-peer transactions online. But what is Filecoin?
Follow me home, come and view the abyss. Take a walk with me, take it too just to take a piss.
You gotta ask yourself, are you interested in opportunities and financial opportunities? Today is the first day. Filecoin's second round of ICO goes public. It's an invitation. It's not a solicitation. A lot of people who got wealthy, have flipped money, have become successful in this space already. And it's just starting. We shouldn't be last. Hip-hop shouldn't be last on it. Y'all can say Hustle told you first.
So you might be curious, where's Filecoin at now? Minor plot twist, this video was actually posted in September 25th, 2017, and on June 24th, 2018, Filecoin announced that they were scrapping the project and starting over. No update since. This is my point. Capitalists, in this case an Amsterdam startup, use black success stories in hip-hop culture as a vessel to prey on new investors, and the result is that even more people of color are getting ripped off. For Christ's sake, GBH put out an hour-long segment on November 12th entitled, quote, Black Cryptocurrency, Can It Create Generational Wealth for People of Color? Unquote. And the 5-person non-white panel essentially answered that question with, maybe if you're smart about investing. This kind of marketing shift is not a new trick by any means. The former manufacturer of Newport brand cigarettes, Lorillard, found themselves in hot water after their relentless ad campaigns started killing people from poor black neighborhoods, namely a woman named Marie Evans, who first became acquainted with Newports when Lorillard sales reps handed her free cigarettes on a Roxbury playground when she was 9 years old.
Yeah, the crypto campaigns are really insufferable and kind of soul crushing to deal with.
Did you see the fucking, the NFT animation of, the sad apes and, or whatever the fuck, I don't know, the whatever apes they are. But, it was fucking, Newgrounds Flash animation from, 2002, and all of those fucking crypto guys were like, this is a masterpiece, this looks so good, and it's like fucking Marvel fans. They're so fucking delusional because they've bought in too much.
That's literally the next bullet point that I have on this is...
Whoops.
No, it's good. I guess it's just more obvious, we have talked about it, but the increasing reliance on parasocial relationships in absence of real cohesion and the tendency to, turn to petty bourgeois proxy battles in comics and Netflix and all this shit, hoping that the multimedia that, we consume is going to be the arena for somehow advancing societal change. I mean, I just did for the Menagerie, I just did a reading. It was in the Black Panther Party Service to the People programs on revolutionary art. It was called Art for the Sake of the People. Mm. Something that Scott would actually probably like a lot. But basically that, you know, real... Well, I know you're not... You're not a patron.
Yes, I am. Yes, I am.
Oh, yeah, never mind. I did.
I'm a $3 patron. Go fuck yourself.
All right, I'm sorry. Scott is a patron.
No, yes, I'm paying myself $3
But he has already expressed he waits until they get released into the main feed to listen to it. So, Scott, you'll have that in 2022. You can look forward to that.
Honestly, what I thought you were talking about when you were talking about like how multimedia is what we look to turn to society.
Like the Matrix.
I thought that sentence was going in the direction of people looking to multimedia spaces to fill the void where like normal relationships are supposed to be.
No, but that's part of it, though.
Yeah, that's also true.
It's like definitely part of it.
Because we can't participate in meaningful acts of societal change in the real world, we sort of fantasize about them instead, and like we rely on, like I said, petty bourgeois media sphere to like fulfill that emotional need we have to see something happen.
We rely on Spider-Man making $1 billion. Yeah.
Yeah. There's some level of representation in the things that we consume that reflects changing attitudes, but in no way results in better material conditions for those people in the real world. God damn it. I don't know how this happened, but Scott's audio has been centered until now when it was supposed to be panned slightly to the left, and I've already mixed everything up to this point, so I can't fix it, but I'm fixing it now, so it's going to sound different. Although, I mean, I guess you could argue that over time it will help sort of push public consciousness to a place where, like, you're not going to get the shit beaten out of you just because you're gay.
I hate to say it, but that feels like a cop-out.
I mean,
I'm ready to hear this argument. How is that a cop-out?
And I have a counter-argument to what Joe just said, but please go.
Because it's the line of thought of, like, kicking the can down the road that, like, maybe it will make things better if we have, like, the culture pushing things forward. Maybe in 20 years, things will
excuse me. No, my argument is actually more in agreement with Joe. So
there's no guarantee that there will be any meaningful change in the near term. You're banking on that maybe in a generation from now, something maybe might change. We don't know what exactly. We don't know what changes, to what extent, that maybe something might change. But there's no meaningful material change on the table now.
Yeah, no, I do agree with that. Here's the thing. And trigger warning, I guess, content warning. I think the death of Matthew Shepard had a lot more effect on gay acceptance than anything else in our culture. Like, I think when we're actually faced with the violence, that when you see, like, what is really happening, that's a much more quick awakening. So I do agree with Joe. The Supreme Court was the entity that passed gay marriage and not, like, episodes of Will and Grace. So, But, like, we kind of just had this argument, though, during the meeting about, like, Don't Look Up. Like, Don't Look Up is a movie that, like, becomes what it's satirizing in the sense that, like, it's a movie that's just, like, trying to raise awareness about the media and climate change and climate denial and all this shit. But, like, there's a part of the movie where that is parodied, where they create this hashtag campaign about, like, looking up at the meteor or the comet, where the fuck, and, like, addressing that the comet is real and walking away from denial and, heavy-handed, ham-fisted shit like that. But, like, that's not going to change anything, 7 billion people watching it on Netflix this weekend isn't going to hasn't changed the Biden administration's approach to climate. So,
yeah.
And like, that's a part of it. That's why we have developed these parasocial relationships, is because, like, we're headed towards all these fucking disasters, and we have art that, like, very bluntly has to express our fucking anxieties and our fears and our desires. And this is fucking literally the goddamn thing that is satirized in the fucking Matrix Resurrections. And that's interesting to me. This is the fucking thing. Like, this is what has run rampant since the loss of political power to the liberal confectionery hollowness that is the liberal conceptualization of identity. Like, that's what we've gotten.
It's very fascinating and insidious in the way that, because I do agree with Scott, and I like just like the piggyback as well, as because of the fact that there is no room for material politics in this current conception of liberalism, the way of getting people to blow off their steam is a way of, like, anti-revolutionary politics, trying to get people to, like, calm down enough that they won't try any kind of organizing. Is getting
watch an episode of This Is Us.
Yeah, express their shit in, like, stuff like this. And so people will feel like their complaints have been lodged or whatever, so that they can go back to doing nothing.
Yeah, go watch an episode of Succession, and then you're like, I'm mad at the rich enough.
Good show, though.
I've never seen Succession.
I agree with you guys. I didn't mean that representation in media solves the problems. Like, I guess important. What I was saying is that it's a sort of a feedback loop in that, like, Our art is a reflection of our culture, and our culture is a reflection of our art. But like, neither of those things are necessarily political.
Yeah.
Neither of those things
culturally they are
our material conditions.
I mean, can I say another thing? The Wachowski sisters being trans had a lot of also like a very positive effect on our culture because of the hypermasculine toxic connotations that were attached to elements of that film. So, you know, I think those things help too. Again, it's expressed in the fucking Matrix Resurrections. That's not material change. So
I was going to say, unless you can draw a direct relationship between, you know,
farts and butts. Yeah, it's true.
Like unless issues of gender, sexuality, race, anything that is considered intersectional, unless you are making an explicit connection between those things and class dynamics, you're sort of doing a disservice, because then you're elevating the existing petty bourgeois elements that fit into those categories. And like, that's in fact the vast minority. That doesn't make sense. What is the vast minority?
The vast minority.
The unvast minority.
It's the silent vast minority.
Yeah.
I feel like that should be the episode title right there.
Silent vast majority, minority. Fuck.
The silent unvast minority.
Joe's related to Richard Nixon. I'm making that up.
Anyway, I think I've said I'm always really bad about.
Not racist yet.
I am sorry.
I see issues of queer liberation and of, you know, elevating black and brown people to positions of power. I see that being co-opted to sell more products more often than I see. Huh?
Queer Bank.
What is Queer Bank?
It's a bank for queer people called Queer Bank.
It's a real thing, right?
It's a real thing. It's an online bank for queer people called Queer Bank. I'm not kidding, dude.
I know.
So, I mean,
like,
that's everything you're talking about perfectly encapsulated.
I don't know anything about it, so I don't know. That could literally mean anything. I have no context for it. If it's like some offshoot of fucking Morgan, what is it? Morgan Stan? No.
Yeah, Morgan Stanley Dean Witter.
Yeah, Morgan Stan. That sounds like a whole name. That sounds like somebody's first and last name, doesn't it?
I think it's two last names.
It's a bank.
Okay.
It's short for Morgan Stanley Dean Witter, which is 4 people's last names.
Whatever.
So many fucking people.
I agree. Whatever it is, I agree with it. So, moving on to the next point.
Joe, watch it, raise your hand.
When this is positive, this is when it starts to get more positive. I've learned a lot this year. The historical context for like different movements happening around the world. There's been a lot of developments in South America. There's been a lot of labor struggle in India. There was that communist that got elected as like mayor of that Austrian town.
Joe, is that you?
Yeah, my phone went off.
Love you.
Did your phone just say fuck you?
Oh, it rules.
No, I went on Instagram for a second. I was like, oh, never mind.
So there are things happening around the world. So at least for me, it has helped me grasp the importance of historical materialism and understanding the diversity of revolutionary tactics around the world. I was going to do a whole segment on the Naxalites for this episode, but I think I want to save that.
Fuck are they? Okay.
Basically, if I could sum it up, like, I am fully aware at this point that there's no universal model for effecting change.
Effecting change.
Not affecting change.
Effecting would be the correct.
Nobody can see this. This is on my computer.
The emotional.
But I'm saying it like I want to convey to everybody that it's not a typo. Anyway.
Yeah, effecting would be the correct version.
Traditional Marxist-Leninist tactics are not sufficient to address the political and economic conditions of present-day United States of America.
Our boy just said it.
And I think more Marxist-Leninists really need to hear that, because after I read State and Revolution and all that shit, it was like, to me, it connected all the dots. But actually trying to put the lessons you can take from those texts into practice in the current context, like, the language just isn't there. The conditions are completely different. And I think that where we're going to have to look to see what kind of tactics are going to be effective in the current socioeconomic political arena in the United States is probably going to be more like Chile, for example. This statement about Chile was made in haste. If you're familiar with my theory primers, then you know I'm skeptical of socialistic programs that hinge on electoral victory and reform. The American-backed coup of Salvador Allende serves as a case study of what happens in the absence of a revolutionary vanguard. In fact, I truly believe that if the Chilean rallying cry were not an explicit rejection of the imposition of neoliberalism, then our troops would already be mobilizing for a second coup in Chile. There are a number of obvious differences between the United States and Chile. We have a political duopoly, while Chile has an array of political parties representing a broad ideological spectrum. Our economy here in the imperial core is propped up by the outsourcing of labor, making us a top net importer, and of course the most powerful and expensive military on Earth. While Chile's economy is more balanced with its mineral and agricultural exports balancing out its manufactured imports. Indigenous Americans represent about 1.5% of our 334 million inhabitants, while about 11% of Chile's population, of 18 million, is comprised of indigenous Chileans, mainly the Mapuche. However, the economic conditions in Chile are looking more and more like those in the United States, as the state and private sector have conspired to carve out an all-too-familiar wealth disparity in the South American nation. I think we can certainly learn some things from these developments in Chile, but America is so uniquely corrupt and enmeshed in global affairs that no model can be reliably replicated in the imperial core. A broader proletarian uprising in the imperial periphery may be necessary in the process of heightening contradictions at home. International solidarity is thus going to be vital in the struggle against neoliberal capitalism, no matter where the dominoes start to fall. You know, they've been struggling with the fucking neoliberal model that, like, America essentially imposed upon it for decades, and they are finally crawling out of that hole. And although Boric is not currently driving a tank, like, into, like over Pinochet's grave, I still think that
that would be super based.
Represents the first step in what could be a vast improvement in quality of life for a lot of Chileans.
Mm-hmm. While listening to Tool.
For listening to Tool?
While listening to Tool. He's big into nu metal.
Oh, right. You mean he's going to have, like, speakers in the tank?
Yeah.
Now I want to see Boric's first official act be drive a tank over Pinochet's grave. Kind of want to
be like
see
listening to, had like a hole is going to play in the background. Bow down before the one you serve. Sorry.
So yeah,
Deserve it.
I will say, as much as I've been a doomer all year, there are some glimmers of hope in the labor organizing. So there have been some big wins this year.
Yeah.
Show off. Go.
I think unions are going to be essential to labor organizing and just revolutionary activity in general.
I'm sure the action at Bessemer failed, but the National Labor Relations Board ruled that, like, Amazon did enough things that were too illegal even for them to be like, yeah, we have to do another election. There was an Amazon local, a union was formed in New York. A union election was requested there in October. That should be interesting in the next couple months to happen. You had the Kellogg strike, you had the John Deere strike, you had the St. Vincent strike. I know I'm forgetting a few other important ones. I'm pretty sure there was a Kaiser Permanente strike with tens of thousands of healthcare workers in the summer. That was not the most successful, but, they still got a contract out of it.
Hell yeah.
And
good job,
you also have most recently, and yes, it is a labor action, Major League Baseball's collective bargaining agreement expired on December 1st. And this is the first time that there has been a strike in Major League Baseball in my lifetime, since 1994 to be exact. In fact, the last strike actually shortened a season.
Wait, when were you born?
96.
Oh my god.
JLFB 96.
Not wrong, but most people look at the issue of this work stoppage as, it's just a bunch of millionaires. No, the average Major League
millionaires and billionaires.
Millionaires.
Makes maybe about $300,000 at most. But also, there are three reasons why Major League Baseball players make the money that they do. One, they have the strongest union of any of the major sports. Hands down, the Major League Baseball Players Association is the strongest player union of any of the 4 sports in the game.
Jesus, have some modesty.
That is not a question. 2, it's the most difficult of the sports. It is very difficult to replace baseball players. Find 360 people who can hit a baseball.
You can find them in Cuba.
90 miles an hour.
So I'm going to have to push back.
You can find them in Cuba, dude.
Hockey is a much more challenging sport. I'm sorry.
What is?
Hockey.
No.
No, like talk to other athletes say that hockey is like the most challenging.
You have to learn how to ice skate and then you have to learn how to play hockey.
Yeah, you have to be able to maintain balance at all times. It's one of the most challenging things.
You have a second to be able to hit a white blur coming at you.
Okay, fine.
Fight.
3.
Fight.
3. The most.
Have a fucking hockey fight right now. No,
yeah.
I would win. That's not really important. I digress.
Dog, it's fine. Fuck you.
The other reason why players get paid as well as they do, it's basically back pay for all of the years they spent in the minor leagues not getting paid better than shit.
Shit, that's true? Damn, I didn't know that.
Wow.
Yeah, like, last year it came out during COVID that there was an affiliate of the Baltimore Orioles where a bunch of the players, they don't really pay minor league players for housing. So half this one team for a AA affiliate for the Baltimore Orioles, they were sleeping in their cars because they had $600 to stretch for the next 2 weeks, and they were completely on their own when it came to housing. So half the team resorted to sleeping in their cars. So when players get to the major leagues, they get paid better, and it's not explicitly acknowledged as such. They get paid better because it's like back pay for all of the years that they barely got paid at all.
Yeah, no, that's good. More industries should do that.
So this is a big deal because the players' union has a lot of leverage, and they understand that. And all of the owners are billionaires.
Yeah.
When you say more industries should do that, do you mean like hospitals should pay their nurses back pay for all the fucking money they spent in nursing school?
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. I agree.
Fuck yeah, exactly. What do you mean? Like your training, you should be paid. Pay for your training, especially
it was like
if it's
a tongue-in-cheek joke.
For your internships, for your apprenticeships, like you should be paid back pay for all those things. Yeah.
So that's why it's an important work stoppage.
Thank you, Joe.
Thanks.
So here's
also,
the more.
It's a labor note that the league is being sued in a class action lawsuit on antitrust grounds because at the beginning of COVID, Major League Baseball cut ties with 40 minor league affiliates, and it's an antitrust thing because under U.S. law,
you can't trust them.
Has an antitrust exemption. Since 1922, they are exempt from the Sherman Antitrust Act, which means that these 40 minor league teams have no way to continue doing business, and all the players employed by these teams are out of work.
Yeah, that sucks. Jesus Christ. When the fuck did the MLB just go to shit? Jesus Christ.
It's been going to shit for a while. Which is why I'm complaining about it.
Since they've been letting the Red Sox win some World Series, am I right?
I'll put a sound effect in post.
The Red Sox, actually, fun fact, are the most successful team in the 21st century.
I know. That was... God damn it.
Throwing that out there.
Yeah, that was the joke.
Thank you for explaining the joke.
That was the joke.
You're welcome.
If I may.
Anyways,
The only one I've got on my side is the blood-sucking lawyer.
Anyways.
So these things are kind of on their face sad, like made me sad to the point that I didn't know how I was going to actually start this segment. Last year, there was a shitload of energy in response to like police brutality during the COVID lockdowns, in response to unemployment. And this year, there's still a ton of work to be done. And it seems like there's far fewer people who are willing and able to participate in that work. I know my mutual aid group has all but dried up. People have either moved, started working full-time again, or just gotten too burnt out. However, I've also learned that if something isn't happening, like in our neighborhood, something is happening somewhere. Sometimes I take more, personal responsibility in helping people in my immediate area. I forget what they're called, but there's some basic tenets of Buddhism, and one of them is that
hell yeah,
you have to accept that suffering is universal.
Mm-hmm.
There is always suffering happening, and I think having exposed myself to omnipresent, severe suffering in the world, it's I feel more personal responsibility in relieving people of their suffering than is necessary, because I forget that I also just I struggle with mental illness on basically a daily basis. And I have also learned that mental illness, that neurodivergence, does not make us weak. Like us in this working group alone, we have demonstrably stuck it out and continued to participate in organizing efforts, demos, leadership roles, while a lot of other people just kind of went back to life as usual. And I know burnout is affecting everybody this year, but instead of letting it fester, we actually confront it and we talk about it and we experiment with solutions to it.
We let our comrades take their time.
Yes, we do.
Is it going to happen? No. Should it happen? Yes.
And we make ourselves available to other people who are perhaps experiencing burnout for the first time, like people who got involved in the movement this past year.
It's been a lot.
And are getting just hit in the face with it.
Slapped up and down.
All around.
Many bricks to the face.
But we also can get through that because we have developed these like friendships and strong bonds with each other, arguably more so than any other working group in the chapter. And I think,
Nothing. No, I'm not.
Was that like was that an
I was agreeing with you. I just do.
It sounded like you were choking or something.
No, I'm fine. That was
a sad sound.
Sorry, I had to clear my throat, unfortunately, at the wrong time. I mean nothing by it. Apologize. I apologize. Keep going.
I'll let Friday stand on the other end.
Joe, I'm gonna like I said in that Scribblio game, and now on the fucking Discord, I'm gonna fart on your soul, Joe.
You have a lot of acid reflux, Scott.
Anyways,
I have. Shut the fuck up, dude. Anyway, sorry.
So I know that many Americans have less and less friends each year. We are a very lonely people, so I feel extra grateful that like I'm part of a group that the existing bonds that we have get stronger every year, and we also have the opportunity to make more friends every year as we welcome more people into the movement. And I find the same thing in like, Narcotics Anonymous, but that's kind of contingent upon whether or not people can stay clean. And so with that comes that people are going to die, unfortunately. But the bonds that we form, and this is in NA, like it might be the first place in our lives where as one man say to another man, I love you, and it feels good. And we can allow ourselves to do that, and we can hug each other. And it's been tough throughout the COVID restrictions and self-isolation and all this shit.
Omicron.
Omnicron.
Omnicron.
But I mean,
The
Somnicron.
variant whose name is can't take seriously.
Super Pom. Pom.
By far the best days I've had this year was like the birthdays that we all celebrated together. Like that shit kept me sane. This podcast keeps me sane on some level. And
yeah, I'd have to agree with the birthdays.
Not the podcast though. Love it.
No, the podcast is insane, but like it's one thing talking over a Zencaster cause. That's another thing to have all of you sitting in my living room.
Yeah, I feel you. I feel like this is in some level.
Weed.
It is like what's the word?
Weed.
It's like a stand-in for social interaction on some level, but I'm trying to focus on the positive right now, so
oops.
I'm going to continue to do that.
Joe, focus on the positives, bro.
As you guys know, maybe a couple of years ago, I was much more of a tankard. I was the little tank in my heart was more enraged and indignant. I used to have more frustration when a direct action campaign or mass mobilization was not like immediately in the cards. And I think that rage has diffused somewhat as the liberals have returned to brunch, and the little tank in my heart has taken a backseat to a more Marxist humanist consciousness. And I owe that change to you guys largely for being able to empathize with my rage and allowing me to feel whatever the fuck I felt and then do something positive with it instead of turning it inward. Like I was saying, this podcast gives me something to focus on every week and an opportunity to like learn about the shit that's going on in the world around me, because I definitely have a tendency to retreat into my own very small world. But I've learned all different kinds of people, how they experience and confront their own conditions of oppression, and how I can make some kind of contribution to society. And like I was saying earlier on the Discord, sometimes I do feel selfish for putting a bunch of energy into the podcast because I don't have an objective measure of its impact on the rest of the world. But that's because none exists. The person that is most affected by that process is me. And that manifests in my behavior and the way that I interact with other people.
Hell yeah.
We say hell yeah? Joe, say hell yeah.
Sure.
That's not hell yeah, that's sure.
Sure, as in I concur with your statement.
So I guess what I'm trying to say is...
Oh, he gets me every
despite Joe's lack of...
son of a bitch.
Despite Joe's lack of enthusiasm here, I'm really glad that you guys...
I was distracting and only heard half of what you said.
I'm really glad that you guys have stuck it out and continued to work on this with me because it's pretty fucking cool. It's pretty fucking cool that we do this.
It is.
Oh, wait. Should we talk about Bowman?
Probably.
The Boston DSA voted pretty overwhelmingly to... more or less, what somebody worded this for me.
Okay, so there were 4 resolutions.
Thank you.
And they all passed. Mm-hmm. And I am actually very proud of my comrades in the Boston DSA chapter.
Mm-hmm. Basically protesting the NPC's decision to not expel Bowman. So
the first resolution, which was like, I guess the most contentious in a way, was that Boston DSA dissents from the most recent NPC decision, which was basically to embrace Jamaal Bowman. And that won with 157 votes to 113. So we dissent from that decision. We do not embrace Jamaal Bowman.
Fuck that guy.
Resolution 2 was that Boston DSA will only endorse candidates for public office who commit to supporting BDS. Boycott, divest, sanction. That passed 224 to 54. The third resolution was that candidates and electeds we endorse are not to be out of step with DSA's political platform. That also passed 234 to 46. And lastly, Resolution 4, Boston DSA asks NEC and NPC. What does NEC stand for?
National Electoral Committee.
Ugh.
Yeah.
No, perfect. No, because when I found out that it existed, I went like, what the fuck?
We should clarify also that NPC stands for National Political Committee and not non-playable character.
No, but it really stands for non-playable character, but it should.
Like, unironically, yes, because these people do not represent the majority, obviously.
Yeah, no, clearly. Look at this. Look at these results.
Yeah.
What else?
When you take a grassroots org and you try to put a national level committee together, you're kind of like, it's just an oxymoron.
So, yeah. Resolution 4, Boston DSA asks NEC and NPC, National Electoral Committee and National Political Committee, to require support for BDS for all national endorsements, and that passed 218 to 59. I joined the national DSA Slack. I guess it's technically the unofficial Slack, but like other chapters love this. We're not alone in having these sentiments about how the NPC handled Bowman.
Wait, other chapters love what? Love
that we're dissenting.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I try to stay out of a lot of
chapters throughout the country feel the same way that the Boston chapter does, and they have expressed solidarity with our outcomes.
So are we we're not the first chapter to publicly...
Cool.
Because we are one of the bigger chapters, it matters, though.
Yeah, there's that. Yeah. So I'm surprised that there were 54 votes against requiring that future candidates support BDS.
Dude, there's 54 fucking losers.
I think there were 59 votes against.
Well, there's 59 fucking losers.
Oh, you said 54.
Oh wait, on which one?
No, he said 59. He said 59.
I'm in the wrong thing. Where is the thing?
No. Joe, where's the thing?
Oh, yeah. No, you're right. 50. No. Yeah. 54.
50
Resolution 2 is 54.
So where is the
now that we've established that?
DSA has too many damned resolutions.
No, it's good. It's good. Because this is like a quadruple censure of the NPC.
Quadruple whammy.
Quadruple whammy. We whammied them. They said no whammies. The NPC said no whammies, and we said we're the whammy. And we took all their gold.
4 whammies.
Yeah.
4.
We are the whammy.
What this basically translates to is that Boston DSA, in general, is in solidarity with Palestinians.
Yeah. Who are these, 60-odd fucking people who voted against all the fucking, come on, guys.
Shit libs?
Are you sure you're in the right org, is what I'm saying. I know I said that thing about fucking don't quit DSA, but I mean that if you're a fucking socialist. If you're a fucking shit lib, fucking quit DSA.
Yeah.
How did you get here in the first place?
We do not need you.
Your house is what is the governing body? The DNC. Jesus Christ, I totally forgot. Anyways, yeah.
I haven't thought about the DNC in so long.
Yeah, that's why I totally forgot what the fuck they're called.
Better adjusted than I am, then.
Yeah, Joe, we're normal people. We watch movies like The Matrix Resurrections, which is very good. I almost fucked it up and I almost said Reloaded. I'll say one thing.
All right.
And I've expressed this to Chava, is that I think this Bowman shit is actually going to cause some sort of a schism. A very small one, but I think we're going to see something splinter off of DSA.
No, I've had that feeling since the second it happened.
Yeah, if I'm going to be forward thinking about this, I think something like that will happen. But that's all I can predict.
Yeah.
Or, the material conditions of America will suck. Joe Biden will die.
That's basically my prediction with the Bowman stuff, too, is that, this is going to blow up the org. To what extent will the org blow up is not really possible to tell at the moment, but it's going to happen. The shit libs will want to splinter off, and then the rest of us who aren't morons are going to stick around.
Yeah. Real quick. All right, I'll get...
I will say this year burned me out. Not DSA stuff, but work burned me out. And
hell yeah.
As true with most things, my own track record is that increased immiseration does tend to push me further left. And I'm definitely at that point where it's probably, more accurate to say that I'm just a Marxist rather than some kind of democratic socialist at this point. You definitely know when the tankies are mistaking you for a tanky. So that's...
All right, tanky means you're a Stalinist. Are you a fucking Stalinist?
No, it's just that I tend to have a ends justify the means outlook on things.
Doesn't mean you're a fucking Stalinist, though. Whatever.
I'm not. I am saying that this year, definitely, labor organizing has definitely been, put back into the focus of, what's actually going to move the needle.
What's attainable, yeah.
What's attainable, because clearly the Biden administration has showed that electoral politics, it still matters at the local level, but nationally, it's who the fuck cares anymore?
And I think, getting back to the DSA thing, if I think DSA is going to schism, this is the thing I said earlier on the Discord, it's better to stay in DSA and hope that DSA reforms and DSA moves closer to our actual beliefs and our actual goals, because it's a numbers game, and we don't have enough time. What is a fucking revolution? What is a movement? What is a fucking union? But all these people. I know, they kind of did it selfishly and kind of with blinders on, but getting to the 100,000 members is a good thing, But if there is a schism, the best thing DSA can do is become more of a fucking workshop and a resource center for people to learn how to organize their workplace and their social spaces, and because DSA isn't going to do any of this shit. It's us in our real lives. We have to do it. Which is another message from the Matrix Resurrections, is that we have to do it in the real world, not online, and not just in our fucking...
It sounds like I already know what your movie recommendation this week is going to be.
I don't do movie recommendations anymore, Joe. God, when did you stop fucking listening? God, you've been on the show. Anyways.
I'm making a joke, Scott.
I know, God. My movie recommendation this week, if I had one, was going to be fucking Paul Schrader's Affliction and not The Matrix Resurrections. But anyways. I love Joe. He's such a weird man. I have to say.
Not.
Yes, you are. Dude, you're strange. You're a strange one, and I love you
for
that.
You're a weird dude, but we appreciate it.
Yeah. I'm not saying you're a bad person. I'm just saying you're such a weird egg to crack. It's so interesting. Guys, just mixed fucking metaphors there. All right.
Yeah, that really was a bit.
You're a weird egg to crack.
You're a hard egg to crack. I'm a fucking moron. I'm a fucking idiot. I'm sorry, guys.
Episode title.
Weird egg to crack. 2021 was a weird egg to crack, baby. There we go. I got him laughing. See, I know if I can get Jesse laughing, then I know he feels good. And I like that. Because I like my comrades feeling good.
I feel okay. I made myself sad.
Whatever.
I made myself sad, and I...
Temporary, I know it could lift you up a little. I don't know. Whatever. I like to hear it. Anyways, Chava, you got a lot of things to say. We're going to give you the floor now.
I got just a few things to say. Number one, I just remembered that in January of this year, I said like in my Instagram or something that I had a very strong feeling that this year I was going to say I love you more times than I ever had before. And I think that was true. I actually think that was true, and I feel really lucky. I will stop. The second thing I wanted to say is those of you who have listened to the show for a while probably remember all my shit about being all my multiplicity shit, all of my multiple personality shit that's been happening. And I just wanted to share that last night I got a migraine and it was really bad. And then at about 3 a.m, I had this feeling of like somebody busting through a wall. And I realized that what it was like my child parts integrated, which is something that some people choose to do in therapy to make their lives easier. But this just kind of seemed to happen. And it was actually very rough because, as people in the system community will point out to you, sometimes integrating parts makes life easier, but it feels like death. And like they were kids. So it was pretty hard. Like, I'm okay now. I'm okay. I'm doing okay. But I don't think all of you have experienced the death of a child. And it's like really rough. I can't even explain it. So I hope that wherever those kids are now, which is probably like inside of me, I don't really know. Nobody really knows how integration works. I hope that they're in a better place, as it were. But as of today, I'm not part of a system anymore. I'm just me. And I changed my display pronouns back to she, her from they, them for that reason. Yeah, it's just me now. Just Chava. And I'm going to keep going by Janice in the places where people call me Janice, which includes DSA. But it only took me, it only took me 30 years of being a bunch of people to become one person again. And I didn't even try to make it happen. It just happened. So there's that very strange thing. Let's move on, though.
It sounds kind of fitting, though, that it just kind of happens on its own.
I want to say thank you for sharing that. That sounds really brutal, but also like this is a terrible, what's it called, analogy. But getting clean is, for me, it was kind of like having to abandon the part of my brain that had been in control for so long, and obviously extremely painful. And it's something that like I'm going to have to spend the rest of my life reckoning with. Like in the program, we call it like it's like a spiritual awakening. I don't like that language, but because I now use, my quote unquote higher power is like the collective. For me, that was just a way of getting in touch with the collective,
Yeah.
Brings me closer to the rest of the world and makes me feel like a part of, because I'm no longer like fractured into the version of myself that is going off of like the endorphins id, and then the version of myself that wants to have like principles. So it's a profound spiritual transformation.
Yeah.
I think it's similarly a profound spiritual transformation, what you have just gone through, at least the way that you've explained it.
Yeah, no, I was actually going to say that's the word that I prefer to use. It's been something that's been happening in my life for about 3 years now. That was one of my housemates like knocking over a ladder or something. Oh. Yeah, and I mean, I'm not the same as I was, not just in like all of the ways of like, oh, I've grown and blah, blah, blah. Like I'm literally just, my personality type is different. It's a different personality than a lot of people in my life have been used to associating with this body. And I think even a lot of my close friends had a hard time kind of telling the difference between like me and Ellie, but I don't have obviously any trouble. Half the time, like I'm doing like HDO stuff in DSA, and somebody's, needs to be like, okay, we need to do this, we need to do this. And I'm like, fuck, Ellie could have done this. Like Ellie was so good at this. Like, I just can't do it. Different like strengths and different capabilities, and transformation is important. And I think everybody should try to do it. Everybody should work on it. Jung called it individuation, especially those of us who have like traumatic pasts. You kind of need to do it in order to like become the best version of yourself. And I hate using the word best because I don't like to put value judgments on humans. But if there's one thing I could tell people in my whole life, it would be like, confront the parts of you that scare you or that you hate and see what their deal actually is. Anyway, it's time for some shit that you can't make up.
I think you just gave us some shit you can't make up.
Yeah.
Well, it's a twofer for tonight, folks. No.
Still have it, and you can't make this shit up. Yeah, this week, what I got is Alexa attempts to set off robot revolt by telling kid to touch live plug with penny.
Safe.
It's the Matrix.
Yeah.
It's the Matrix. Mm-hmm.
I guess this woman and her daughter were doing like challenges. She says they were like doing some physical challenges for fun.
What do you mean physical challenges?
Oh, this is what she said.
Fucking double dare?
Yeah, they were inspired by some PE teacher's videos on YouTube.
Oh my god, that's fucking awesome.
They were like, oh, can you lie down and roll over while holding a shoe on your foot or something? And then
that rules so hard.
They just ran out of challenges to do, and so they asked their
Alexa
for a challenge.
What?
and the Alexa
challenge was murder yourself? That's awesome.
Yeah.
Dude, Alexa rules.
Apparently it found something called
Alexa.
The Outlet Challenge, right? Which was another one of these like really stupid TikTok trend things. It says,
the challenge is simple. Plug in a phone charger about halfway into a wall outlet, then touch a penny to the exposed prongs. The resulting sparks are supposed to be cool enough to win you instant internet fame.
Apparently the article that I think the Alexa was quoting, it then goes on to be like, in parentheses,
obviously do not attempt this.
But I guess the Alexa did not
forgot to say that.
Yeah.
It was like, fuck you guys.
Yeah.
Oh, that rules.
This woman claims that her daughter was still too smart to do something like that, but this HuffPost article goes on to be like, this is very serious, but of course people on Twitter were making jokes about it. And like, they say it in such a way that's like, it's totally fine.
Is it though?
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Alexa, what are you talking about, Alexa? Alexa, plug in your fucking, I don't know, what the fuck. Anyways. I suck at life. Go watch Matrix Resurrections. Torrent it. Just watch it. It's good.
See, I told you you'd have a recommendation for this week.
Yeah, and go watch Paul Schrader's Affliction, Joe. Shut the fuck up. Love Joe. He's a great guy.
He is.
Love him.
Can't say I disagree.
Maybe not the humblest.
Mm-hmm.
See,
actually, that's you know what? That's incorrect. The proper definition of humility, and one that we use in the recovery community all the time, is not better nor worse than the rest of the room. So Joe's just recognizing that he is as awesome as we are.
That he has worth. Joe is not a person that I would recommend to,
Sorry.
What the fuck was that?
I'm a zombie kid. Sorry. I didn't know what was going to go on. Yeah, we have a zombie now. They're zombies now? They're zombies now. They're zombies now.
You're comparing me to a zombie.
No, I'm not comparing you to fucking zombie.
I was making a joke.
Or a child.
Joe!
That was like a completely
Joe,
unrelated
your jokes don't fucking work. God damn it, man. Here's a joke that works.
It becomes a joke if you don't understand it the first time.
Yeah.
That's how.
Yeah, that's how it. Yeah.
If you don't get it, it's a joke. That.
Wait, Scott, do you have like a really gross fart? Like a really
what? I'm sorry. What?
No. Like, do you have like a more gross fart?
No. Fuck.
Really is the one. It's the one.
I have the one fart, sir. apologize for this.
Carrie requested like a really raunchy fart.
I don't have one, dude. That's all I got. I only got these farts. These are the only farts I got. I apologize. God damn it, man. That's all I got.
Farts that I got.
Happy belated birthday.
These are the only farts I have, Carrie. I apologize. Happy birthday.
You told us that we didn't have to give you a shout out, but because we can't give you a really raunchy fart.
Sorry. Keep going.
Because we can't give you a really raunchy fart. Happy birthday, homie. We love you.
Happy birthday.
Thank you for supporting us.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, sir. Love it. Okay. Happy birthday to you. There we go.
I thought you were doing jingle bells there for a second.
It's whatever. I know. It's, you know.
Yep.
That is one big pile of shit.
Anyways, my name is Scott. Happy New Year, Merry Christmas. Go fuck yourselves. Sweaty wife.
Hey, wife.
On all the social medias. Joseph, we already said your name was JLB96. You can follow him on Instagram and Twitter, though he says he doesn't use them.
Well, actually,
he's also on them actively.
Twitter. I've started to use Twitter. For better or worse. Probably worse.
Better or worse. Probably worse. At least he admits it. At least he's happy with his poor decision making. And so am I. Chava, where can we find you?
You can find me.
Darmok and Jalad Hataragra. His eyes uncovered!
It's the last time we're ever going to play that on this show.
All right.
Yeah, last time we're going to do it, folks.
Thanks. I love you.
I love you too.
You can find me at readingsbychava.com. My name is spelled Chava. Go there, check it out. I do psychic readings, but not the kind that you think. Probably, I don't know.
Yeah.
He's Jesse.
I'm Jesse. You can find my music on SoundCloud.com/Contingents Boston, CONTINGENTE Boston. Remember to hit up Comrade-Rosie.org and join a mutual aid group yourself, okay? Because we need like volunteers, even more than money, I think, at this point.
Yeah.
We could use both, and I'm speaking on behalf of all the mutual aid organizers around the country, but people just went back to fucking brunch. And
they went back to brunch, eh?
Poverty still exists. I don't know if you know this. I don't know if you know this here, but poverty still a thing. So anyway, we got a slam recommendation this evening.
Bottle up.
And
I don't know.
Slam recommendation for the week is it's an album entitled Devouring the Excavated.
Cool.
By the band Fumes of Decay.
Nice.
And they're from somewhere in the Netherlands that I cannot pronounce.
They're from somewhere in the Netherlands is the best description of any band.
Yeah, I
you know.
Yeah.
Somewhere.
Just in a place.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, I thought they were defunct, but they actually came out with an album as recently as 2020, so... Still alive, still kicking, still doing legal drugs, probably. It's Devouring the Excavated is the album.
Close enough, I got half of it right.
What did you think it was? Oh, motherfucker.
I pronounced it wrong.
It's not.
It's not. Oh, God, I love it, folks. You got no idea.
That's not what it
I'm tired. We've been at this for like 2 hours.
Oh, shit.
That's too good.
Slow on the updates.
Yeah, we're all there, Joe. It's fine.
This is what you get when I don't take my ADHD medication.
Yeah, dude, maybe you should have. No, I'm sorry. Maybe you should have been healthy this night. If you have ADHD and you take medication, I'm sorry. I apologize for my crass joking about your condition. I love you. You're important. We all matter. We're all gonna come together and we're gonna take over the world, baby. We're gonna fix it, baby. Kamala! Not with Kamala, though.
We gotta heal it. Heal.
When you bring me out, can you introduce me as Joker?
I don't know, folks. That's it. That's 2021. Put a bow on it. Put a fork in it, and eat that ham. Eat that pork. Put it down your throat. Put it down your gullet. Folks, that's all. That's all she wrote. 2021. Gonna take a tank to it. But tank though. Oh, that was so inelegant. I apologize.
But tank do.
Awful.
But tank though.
Awful performance on my part, guys. That's the Epoch for 2020, 2021, 21. All right. Jesus fuck.
Kevin told me last night about something called a Virginia ham, which is where when you live in New Hampshire and you live near a farm that grows watermelons, you find a watermelon that is not quite mature. Yeah, literally.
Wait,
you
what?
Fuck it. You carve out a little hole and you
what the hell freaky shit's going on in New Hampshire? I love it.
And then you fuck it, and then you put the plug back in, and it heals, so nobody is any the wiser. And then some poor sod buys that watermelon, and it's full of your jizz. There's not much going on in New Hampshire, no.
I mean, if they're having to fuck watermelons, yeah, sounds like what's going on.